In this video, we'll look at how to use views, the path, and templates to provide information for the users of the application. For every web application or website, users always get information by reaching a URL. Now, if, like for example, in appcoms.com, if I want to go to the home page, I'm going to click on home, and information in the home page will be rendered on the browser. Alright, so first we have to turn on the application by opening the terminal and navigate into Django apps, YouTube, and then the environment. Activate the virtual environment by typing source bin activate, and I cd into the source code, then type .manage.py run server. Now if I open localhost, you can see by default Django knows that we've not done any URL work on the app, right? So when that happens, it will load the default Django page. Okay, so now we want to be able to go to the home page of our app and not this default Django installation page. Okay, all right, so to do that, we're gonna run through these 4 simple steps, and then we'll be able to see a custom or a customized home page of our application. So the first step is to create a templates folder. This is not required, but it is generally a good practice to have your template within your app, so that if you are to deploy that app somewhere else, you just have to take that application folder and then it goes with the template. Alright, so I'm gonna create a templates folder in the application. So I'm gonna open Sublime for that. In the Stack Management app, I'm gonna right click and click on new folder and type templates. So within templates is where I want to put all the HTML documents. Alright, so the templates folder is right here. I'm gonna right click and then select new file, save it as home.html. So I'm gonna create some HTML document. Okay, I'm gonna give it a title of home, and I'm gonna do some text. Let's say welcome to our home page. Save it. Now we want this home page to render on the browser when we go to the home page of our application. So we've created step 1 and then step 2. Now we are to move to views.py and create a view. So now in the views is where the magic happens. So I'm gonna copy this code and head over to the application under views.py. I'm gonna paste it right down here. So now what does this do? I'm gonna create a function like a home view. We call this views, and within the view I'm gonna have a title, and that title will be welcome to this home page. Okay, so this is different from what I type here. I'm gonna remove this for now. So I'm gonna show you how that works and how that we can get that information from the views. Now here we're gonna have a title, and the title is welcome, this is the home page. Okay, so we're gonna have a context, and within the context we have variables. So these are the variables that we can specifically call within the HTML pages. Okay, so for now I'm gonna leave it as is and then show you how select or call this title, and that title will display this text right up here. Alright, so now it's gonna return the homepage.html and the context. So the context is what we have right down there. Okay, so now this home.html was what we just created here, and now the next part is to have a URL that calls this view. Right, now if we go to the home page, this is how websites work. If I want to access some data, I'm gonna do /about and it will take us to about page. Okay, so by default, if I leave everything blank and press enter, that's the default page, or that is the home page. So to get to the home page, we have to have a URL that calls this view. So that is done in urls.py file, and that can be found in Django projects, then urls.py. So as an example, you can have /admin, and that will take you to a whole set of URLs within the admin application. So now that's the reason if you do a /admin, this URL takes you to another set of URLs that calls different views and eventually get this page. Okay, so now we want to have a default one, and the default one looks just like this. Okay, so I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna copy this, copy and paste it just before the admin part. So now if you look at this, it's having a blank string. If I just go to the domain name of the application without having any slash something, then it will match this part. Okay, and now if it matches this part, which view do we want to render on the browser, or which view do we want to call? Okay, so the view is like this, views.home, but now this is a variable and we don't have that variable yet, so that's why we have to import that variable. Like at this stage, if I click on the save button and I try to run the application, it's gonna give me an error. Okay, in fact, if I look at the terminal, you can see the application already breaks. It says path admin invalid syntax. Okay, this one is something different, so I'm gonna look at what is causing that. Okay, so right down there I have a comma. The comma should be above on this other line. I'm gonna save it, try to run the server again, and you will see the error that I was talking about. If I save it, it says name views is not defined. All right, and it is on line 20 of urls.py. So if you look at line 20 of urls.py, line 20 is right down there. The name views is not defined. Okay, so this view is not defined, so that's the error that we saw right there. Name error, name views is not defined. All right, so this is an easy error to read. That means the views on line 20 is not defined. Okay, so now I have to import this view before I can use it. So if you look at the sample above here, you can see from my app import views. Okay, so I'm gonna copy that line and bring it just below the path, paste it. From my app, the app name is stock mgmt. From stock mgmt import views. Okay, stock mgmt. Okay, so I realize I have an extra G. I'll fix that later, so I'm gonna save it and then run the application again. You can see this time the app run fine without an error. So let's try to go to the home page and see what will happen. The default application homepage disappears and we have a blank screen. Okay, it's not really blank, but we don't specify what we want to render on this browser. Right now we have a custom home page or a custom HTML page that is rendering on the browser, but now there is no information to display. Okay, if you look at the tab right here, you can see home, and if you go back to the source code, I'll open home.html and you can see I have a title home. Okay, so now if I change this to my home and save it, refresh it, you can see it changed to my home. Now if you want to render data on the page, that's the time you'll need these variables within this context. Now if I want to render out title, I'm gonna go to the template or the home page, and let's say I'm gonna render it out here in the body. So Django called this template tags, and now we will look at our first template tags, and that is to render out variables on the browser. So now if I use title, that's the name of the variable I have right here, and refresh on the page, you can see the title just displayed. Okay, so I can have a lot of this in the views. Okay, I can have another one and name it form. In the browser, what we are rendering on the browser is not this one, is actually this. Okay, so now this is the variable itself, the one that we assigned right up here. So now if I save this as form, and I can change this to any text right here, like for example test, save it, and if I open the home.html, I can do another template tags that will render the text, save it. You can see we are able to display that data as well. So this is how the HTML pages, the views, and the URLs work together. Now if you understand how all these pieces fit together, the template, the views, and the URLs, so this is one of the key things that you need to understand with Django, with any MVC framework, which Django is one of. So now if you understand the URLs, how they connect to views, and then how they're able to put information on the browser using the HTML or the templates, you have understand a big concept of Django or any MVC framework. Right? So we will take it up from here in another video and see you in the next one. So if you enjoy any programming related videos, please subscribe to our channel and we will be updating you every week.